Hey everyone, Laz here, and happy Friday, and welcome to a new segment in the Real Talk Laz platform, and this is called Finance Friday, a part of my Real Talk Laz journey where we don't talk just about mental health, but we talk about real things that impact it. Because let's be real, money, stress, stress with money is one of the biggest silent battles people deal with every single day. I know I have in the past, and I know many others feel the same. And this purpose of this whole Finance Friday is to shed light to those and make them feel less alone. You know, we deal with the stress financially with the pressure to provide, the anxiety around spending, the guilt, the comparison, the overthinking, and it's all real because this is real life and I've experienced it firsthand myself many, many times. So this series isn't about flexing or anything like that. It's not about selling you a dream or anything in regards to selling you any sort of products. It's about building a relationship with money that actually protects your peace. It keeps things simple and simple systems. I talk about real experiences and most importantly, honest conversations. Because at the end of the day, your wallet and your mental health are more connected than you actually think. And if you don't believe me, let's get into it. Credit cards, debit cards, finances, you name it, all have a big thing in common more than we'd like. And honestly, I'm excited to talk about this. So, before we talk about the cards, let's get into how I carry my cards and what cards I do carry. So, the cards I do carry on a daily basis are these three, which is if I can have it here, American Express Platinum, Hilton Aspire, and Amazon Visa. And that's all I carry. It's not 10 cards. I'm not chasing every sign up bonus. It's just three cards that actually serve my life day in and day out. And if your wallet feels chaotic, well, guess what? Your finances probably do too. And just to reiterate, that's kind of why I started Finance Friday. So I wanted to showcase a lot of things that I've learned and over the time and share that with you. But most importantly, I want to give credit where credit's due because a big reason I'm starting this Finance Friday segment is because of inspiration that I've had from other creators, just like my good friend Ryan over at I Teach Credit, Points with Phillips, John Credits in Travel, Spencer Johnson, Anthony Venture, Mark Reese, and many, many more other YouTubers that have all helped me throughout my finance journey, but also in parallel my mental health journey. I've learned a lot from them, and honestly, I wanted to bring a different angle in regards to this whole finance space as well. Not just the points and miles you earn, not just the cards, but how money actually impacts your mindset, your stress, and your everyday life. And honestly, it's not talked about enough. And I really want to show forth like, hey, finance and mental health are truly, truly connected. And before I get started on the cards, I want to talk about, what holds them. And as every guy, like myself, I have many wallets, many more than I would like. But your wallet setup matters more than people think, and matters more than what others think and whatever that looks like. So you want to do it for yourself. So on an everyday basis, my minimal carry is this Tom Ford card holder, which I believe is a T Line Classic card holder. I'm not sponsored by Tom Ford, but hey, if Tom Ford, you're ever listening, I'm here. um, but honestly, it's my go-to. It's clean. It's minimal. It holds honestly just what I need. I have my three cards, and then I have a card tracker through Nomad. If I ever lose my wallet, I know where it is. But honestly, it holds what I need, and it forces discipline, and it forces to not have any clutter, no overload, and just the essentials, right? Now, in the winter, if I am carrying more, if I need a little bit more structure and maybe a couple other additional cards and maybe even some cash, I go with the Louis Vuitton Pocket Organizer. This was my first luxury wallet, if you will. I don't use it as often anymore, but I actually got this with my wife and my sister-in-law and brother-in-law in Florida a few years ago. So shout out to them. Thanks for being there. But ultimately, if I want to carry cash or something else, I make sure that it's just still intentional, but just carries a little bit more capacity than the other wallets. Now my tech carry, it's my Apple MagSafe wallet. It's just convenient. It snaps onto the back of my iPhone, and it's quick trips or night out. It's great for that. It's minimal, but it's just limited to 3 cards and or licenses. And then last but certainly not least, my flexible option is my ESR MagSafe wallet. This gives me more flexibility and more capacity, especially when I travel. So this is big when I travel because obviously I have my 3 cards, driver's license, but then also hotel cards, right? So they're practical, it's functional and reliable, and it has a very, very strong MagSafe magnet, which is huge, and I appreciate the most. And I know I've talked about these wallets, but all of them serve a different purpose. But the ultimate goal is the same: is to reduce any clutter I have, increase intentionality when it comes to finances, and at the end of the day, a reminder that when our wallet is organized, your mind feels lighter and it feels organized as well. And so, yeah. So now we got the wallets covered, all the good stuff behind them. Let's talk about the 3 cards I mentioned earlier that I carry on a daily basis and will be carrying for Q2 and on, and all my travels that I have coming up the next year. So, first one's first is the Platinum card from American Express. Now, I'm sorry, I'm just making sure I don't have any numbers here to dox myself, but this is my travel anchor. It's the card I use the most to remove any travel, or excuse me, remove any friction from travel because let's be honest, that friction, it creates stress. Now, I won't go over all the card details and super, super specifics, but I'll highlight a few things, a few key benefits. So, most importantly and most impactful, it's 5 times the points on flights booked directly with airlines or your American Express travel website. Additionally, it also provides lounge access, includes Centurion lounges, Priority Pass lounges, Delta Sky Club access, all that good stuff. And as we know, airports are chaotic, and now lounges ideally were to create some calm, but depending on where you fly out of, that could be less than calming as well. Additionally, Final Hotels and Resorts credit, again, won't go into too much detail, but $600 a year, super beneficial for my wife and I when we travel. We have $300 the first half of the year, $300 the second half of the year, and then tons of other great benefits like $100 property credit that helps transform our travel into a premium experience, which is huge. And I mean, it's totally beneficial for myself and my family, and we definitely, take advantage of that a lot. And some of the other credits, but Uber, airline credit, Clear credit, TSA, you name it. Again, those are all on the website, but the big ones I care about the most are the credits. And lastly, trip delay and protections. So, trip delay, baggage, rental coverage, purchase protection, those are all huge, right? Because from a mental health perspective, it reduces uncertainty, but also helps if anything does go wrong with any purchases, anything that goes wrong, you have that backing from American Express and a Platinum card. And ultimately, it creates less friction, less stress, and more control for someone like me that uses it on a daily basis. Now, lastly, who this card's not for: someone if you carry balance, you don't travel, and honestly don't want to maximize the benefits, this card isn't for you. But there are plenty of other American Express cards that offer great benefits. Card number 2, Hilton honors Aspire card with the American Express ecosystem. Now, this card within the Hilton ecosystem, it's my experience builder. And what I mean by that, it helps me enhance my experiences when I stay within Hilton's. So a few of the key benefits are diamond status automatically just by holding the Aspire card, which is great. Upgrades to your room, hotels that have the executive lounge access, you have that included. You also have breakfast, late checkout, all that good stuff. But most importantly, my biggest favorite thing is the free night certificate it comes with. And I use it for intentional trips, right? Not just some random, hey, I want to go to this random DoubleTree or whatever. I want to maximize and use it as a Waldorf or anywhere big where I can get my value back. And again, similar, has some other credits up to $400 a year in semi-annual resort credits. Comes with a flight credit and most importantly, an elevated points multiplier at various Hilton properties as well. And what I like about this car from a mental health perspective is that, experiences heal when they're intentional, right? And this card helps me build moments and build experiences that I'll cherish and ultimately look back to in years to come that ultimately for me help boost my mental health, especially on days where I'm not feeling the best. And lastly, who's this not for is, folks that don't stay at Hilton's, right, or track any benefits regarding it. Perfect card to skip. And then last but not least, my Amazon Prime Visa signature card by Chase. And this card is basically the backbone to my everyday purchases, especially at Amazon or Whole Foods. And that's pretty much it. I don't really use it anywhere else in terms from a category perspective. But the big key point where I use this card and why I have it is, aside from Costco, right? But has no annual fee. And it's huge when I go travel internationally. So I travel a lot internationally, especially to Spain and visit family. And, although Amex has gotten better, it's not always accepted in smaller towns. And guaranteed, I know Visa is, if not. And without having any foreign transaction fees, I think that's huge. And most importantly, it's no stress. So I always try and wear my Amex Platinum card. If it doesn't work, hey, I know I have a backup. I know I don't have to worry about anything else. And honestly, being prepared with that and all my cards, it helps me reduce any anxiety, right? This card gives me the certainty that, hey, I know I will have the funds to cover a purchase, whether, the other ecosystem regarding American Express may not be accepted yet. And lastly, you might be wondering, why just three cards, right? And the biggest thing for me is that there's no chaos, there's no overthinking, there's no what if, would not, what do, right? I still get three lanes, my flights, my hotels, and my everyday and international purchases. And I want to highlight too that credit cards are just tools, right? They're not income. And if you're disciplined in how you handle that and make sure you don't carry a balance every single month, they work great for you, right? And you maximize the benefits as you should. And if you're not, then they don't. And that's okay, right? But ultimately, the biggest thing and takeaway for me is that having the three card setup provides a lot of clarity and simplicity to my everyday spending and traveling and all that stuff. So, um, at the end of the day, it's not about the cards, it's not about the ecosystems, it's not about any of that. It's about having control with your finances, having clarity regarding your mental health, and it's about creating a life where money doesn't control how you feel and how we feel ultimately, right? Because from a mental health perspective, you want to feel good, you want to feel excited when you swipe your card, when you travel, when you see new things, you want to feel excited. You don't want to feel concerned. And this setup works for me because it supports my travel, supports my family, and it supports my peace of mind. And ultimately, peace of mind, that's the end goal when it comes to finances, when it comes to mental health, and everything in between. And if this helped you even a little bit, stick with me. Every Friday, we're going to talk about different topics regarding finances and mental health, what works, what doesn't, and how to build a system that actually fits your lifestyle. So if you could please subscribe if you're not following already and share this video with someone that you think might benefit, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And hey, this is Finance Friday, part of Real Talk Laz, where we are going to build wealth without sacrificing our most important thing, which is our mental health. And with that being said, see y'all next week on next Friday. Have a great Friday. Enjoy the warm weather. Talk to you soon. Peace.